Hi guys, today we are covering section 3.6, a very important lesson. We are learning how to solve equations with fractions and decimals by clearing the denominator, by clearing the fraction, or clearing the decimal. Okay, you'll be doing 3.6, page 140, 1 through 29 odd. And new vocabulary is clearing the denominator and powers of 10. That's how we're going to clear our decimals. All right. So when we have a fraction like this, first thing we have to do is look for a common denominator. We want to multiply this by a number that will clear out, that both denominators will divide into. And so that common denominator would be 6. Now, I'm going to probably write this out for you because I want to make sure that you are lining things up properly. Now, we can do anything to an equation as long as we do it to both sides. So I'm going to multiply by, and I want your fraction to stay on the line paper. I want your fraction bar to be on the line. Okay? And you're multiplying both sides by 6. Notice I'm lining it up with the numerator. Think of it like a 6 over 1. Why did I choose 6? Because 3 and 2 both divide into it. That would be a common denominator or the least common multiple. Okay? So when I distribute here, I'm distributing the 6 to everything. Okay? 3, I can cross cancel. 3 goes into 3 once and into 6 twice. So I'm left with 2 times 2x. That makes 4x. Now I'm going to distribute again. 6 times negative 5 is negative 30. And now I'm going to distribute again. Here I can cross cancel. 2 goes into 2 once and into 6 3 times. 3 times 7 is 21. And now it's a much easier problem to solve. So we get rid of the fractions by multiplying by a number that both denominators can divide evenly into. So now I'm going to add 30. Is my addition property of equality. And now I get 4x equals 51. I'm dividing by 4. I'm dividing by 4. And x equals 51 over 4. All right, questions? Well, I can't take questions because I forgot it's a recording and I'm still half asleep. Now, just be careful because my PowerPoints don't line it up with the numerator, but mathematically you are supposed to. And that's because it's hard to get that 6 exactly lined up. So here I'm getting really, we can leave ours as reduced impropers. All right, let's look at the next one. We're going to have some translating first, and then we have to solve. So it says 2/3 of a number. What is my unknown? Let's define it. We can say n stands for number or x stands for number. Let's see what they do. And we know we have 2/3 of means multiply. Okay. 2/3. Oops, keep going back there, sorry. So let's say x stands for a number. And I'm going to get 2/3 of means times a number. Less 4, not less than, so we're just writing minus 4, is the same as 2/5. Now pause the recording and see if you can do this one on your own. Now let's check our work. The least common multiple or least common denominator would be 15. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 15. When I distribute here, 3 goes into 15 3 times. 3 times 2x is 6x. When I distribute here, I get minus 60. And when I distribute 15 here, 5 goes once, and 3 times it equals 6. So I'm adding 60, I'm adding 60. 6x equals 66. I'm dividing by 6. And equals 11. Let's see if I did it right. 2/3 of a number less 4. Oh, where did I get my 11 from? I'm going to go back. 6x 66. Okay, 6x minus 60. Three times 2x. I see where I made the mistake. Sorry, guys. 3 goes into 3 once and into 15 5 times. Sorry. So this whole bottom part, yes, teachers make mistakes. And I'd redo this. It's not my finest moment. 5 times 2x is 10x. Hopefully you caught that. Minus 60 equals 6. Okay, I'm adding 60. 10x equals 66. Divide by 10. And x is equal to, we can reduce it. 33 over 5. Or you could have made it 6.6. It's pretty easy. Just move the decimal over. 6 6/10. And there we have it. Sorry about that. Calculating error. All right, next one. Do you want to try it on your own? Pause the recording. Okay, our least common denominator. Now we have something. I want to talk about this. This is one term, okay, because it's tied together by multiplication. Since it's tied together, when I distribute, when I'm clearing, so notice I need something that divides by 2 and 3, and so that would be 6. So when I distribute, it's 3x. And when I distribute here, this is all one term. So I only distribute the 6 here to that 3. It becomes minus 18 times x plus 4. Because once you multiply that 18 in to the parenthesis, the 6 will go in there. And then we have to multiply this term, right? 3 goes once, it goes twice. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, hopefully I did everything right there. So I've got 3x, and then we had 18 times the quantity. And now here it goes twice. 2 times 2 is 4. Now we're ready to distribute. And I'm going to combine my like terms. So I have negative 15x plus 72 equals 4. I'm subtracting 72. Negative 15x equals negative 68. Divide by negative 15. And I believe there's nothing divisible, but it is positive. So let's see. Gosh, what did I do? It was plus. What did I do? I'm making too many careless errors. I did not distribute this negative, so this would be positive. And that would be positive. It's not going to be 68, it's 72. 76. So we get 76 over 15, and it's negative. Okay, if you'd like to take a look. Oops. All right, let's try another. Pause the recording. Let's check our work. We're going to multiply by 12. When I distribute to the first piece, I get 4x. When I distribute to the next one, I get 24x. When I distribute to the next one, I get 12. And over here, 4 cross cancels with 12, so we get a 3 times 2 is 6. I'm going to combine my like terms, and we end up with 28x plus 12 equals 6. Subtract the 12, divide both sides by 28, and x equals negative 28. X equals negative 6 over negative 28. We want to reduce our fractions. Always, always, always. All right. So now we have a decimal. Now I'm going to remind you, if it's connected by multiplication, we only clear. Now, clear one time. That's all one piece, one unit, that term. Now, in order to move decimals, if I multiply by 10, it moves my decimal once. Let me go 6.8. How's that? If I multiply by 100, it moves my decimal twice. So all I have to do is multiply by 5,000. Move it 1, 2, 3 to the right. So to clear this, I'm going to multiply by 10. Because I have one decimal. So I'm multiplying by 10 and by 10. So this side I'm only multiplying by 110. So then I get 4 times the quantity of 12 minus x equals 180. So 4 times 12 is 48 minus 4x equals 180. I'm subtracting 48. And I get 132. Okay, I'm dividing by negative 4. X equals 132 divided by 4 is negative 33. So I multiplied by a power of 10. Because this is connected by multiplication, it's only one term. I distributed the 10 to both sides. Because remember, once I multiplied this 4 tenths by 10, that 10 gets multiplied in here. Okay. Let's take another one. Once you try this one on your own. What do you think you need to multiply to clear both decimals? Hopefully you guessed 100. We're going to multiply everything by 100 because you have to move it 2 zeros, 2 places. Okay? So we're going to do, and I get 4x minus 800. 4x minus 800 equals 25. I'm going to add 800 to both sides. So 4x, divide both sides by 4, and we get x equals 206 and 25/100. Or I guess you could just leave that as 825 over 4. I would be okay with that. All right, let's try the next one. Now, what's different about this one is here we have to clear one decimal and here we have to clear 2. We always have to go with the greater amount. That's the power of 10 we're using. So since I have to move it 2 places, I'm going to multiply everything by 100. So let's go. And so when I multiply 4 tenths, I'm going to get 40x minus 800, and I'll get 25x plus 700. We'll move all the x's to one side, subtract them. I'm going to move the 800 to the other side. We're getting some very pretty numbers, and we get x equals 100. All right, let's try another. So now we've got three different denominators. Least common, would it be 6? No, 4 doesn't go into 6. 8, no, 3 doesn't go in, so let's go 10, no, 12. Let's multiply everything by 12. Pause the recording if you want to try this one on your own. So when I distribute here, I get a 6x, right? This cancels, I get 6x. When I distribute 12 here, I get minus 36 times x plus 4 equals, when I go here, we're going to get a 4 times 2x is 8x. When I distribute here, I get a 3 times x plus 3x. Well, let's look at that PowerPoint to make sure I've got all the... Okay, we're going to distribute, and then we'll move our x's, we'll combine our like terms, and then I'll move my x's to keep them positive. I'm going to divide both sides by 41, and we can leave it as negative 144 over 41. Okay, one last one. I believe this is the last one. So here we're multiplying everything by 10. I'm going to get 4 times the quantity of 12 minus x. And here I'm going to get 23x plus 180. I'm going to distribute, and I get 4d8. And here I go. That is our final answer. And I believe it's class time for me. So you can pause the recording, take a look at this one. What would we clear by? How about a 6? Now remember, these ones with parentheses, when you multiply, you're only multiplying this once and this once. We're really just, when I multiply by that 6, let's look. The first one's going to be 48, and we're only distributing it to here. When we distribute, we get 48. It goes twice. 2 times 2, that's why it's 4. Okay? And 6 gets distributed here, but it only gets distributed, since this is all connected, that's one term. Okay? And then we would combine our like terms, move the m's to one side, and I've got class, guys, so I don't mean to rush you through. Pause the recording if you want to look at it. We have one more. 2/3 of a number less 4 is the same as 5/6 of a number plus 10. It's pretty straightforward. And that is our show.